Do not throw out your oil. This is the oil that we've saved. We've run it through a fine mesh coffee press and gives it all the flavor you need when you need to cook things like fried bean and cheese. Well, these are like Copycat, Fiesta Olay. I don't know if you guys have Fiesta Olay where you're at. I live in Idaho. We have Fiesta Olay, and they are super expensive, but we can make it at home super easy. We just need a little bit of oil into our pan here. It's about 1/4 of an inch. You don't want enough oil that your burritos are going to try to float when you put them in there, because we're going to roll these up seams open at the ends. They're going to be open rolled burritos, and then we're going to fry them. Okay, so you want flavor that's got oil. You're going to want oil that has plenty of flavor to it. If you got to do this with fresh oil, it doesn't taste near as good. So, all right, let's get started. So we got this heating up. It's on high right now, but we're going to turn that down to medium so it doesn't get too hot, or medium high, while we mix up our beans. Okay, so stab and twist, and that usually gets it out. Darn it. I have to do it the hard way here. Stab, twist, and let go of the can, you fucking ass. Yikes. Alright, so first you figure out how to get the beans out of the can. The other side used to be the same as the top, so that you could just put it in the can opener, give it a little cut, and that air getting in there would let you take the beans out easy. But nowadays the bottom of the can is rounded, so it won't go into your can opener. We're going to need that all mixed up anyways, right? Yeah, just will not let me have it. Oh, gosh dang it, it will not give me these damn beans. Guess I should have just used a regular fucking spoon. That probably would have been better. Gosh dang it. Give me my beans. Okay, well, that seemed to be a lot harder than it should have been. Whew. Our oil's getting pretty hot, so we're going to turn that down to medium. Out of taco seasoning. So, need to fill up this jar, and I'm not going to measure anything. I'm just going to... We need granulated garlic. There we go. It's about 2 tablespoons. And we need some cumin. Now I have to get some more of that ground up, because that's all we got left in there that's ground up. But I have a whole big container of cumin seeds, and I just put it into my old coffee bean grinder, which is now my spice grinder. Then we need chili powder. Dump some of that in there. Oh, hell, there's not much left. We'll just dump the rest of that in there. And then we're going to need some cornstarch, but I'm going to put in less than I usually do. About 3 tablespoons would probably be enough. Oops, made a mess. Every time I open that cornstarch, I make a mess. Alright, let me clean that up really quick. Alright, so you got all these seasonings in here, and you can add paprika if you want to, but I have a little bit of a food allergy to paprika, so I always skip out on that part. And I don't think it makes that big of a difference on the flavor either. And then we just shake it. Shake until mixed thoroughly. Oh shoot, we forgot the cayenne, damn it. I need cayenne in there too. Motherfucker. Hey, do not forget the cayenne. Couple tablespoons of that. About 2. Oh, not yet, babe. I'm going to make dinner first. Okay. After you get everything in there, you just shake well. And we got 2 cans of refried beans in here, so we're going to add the equivalent of 2 packages of taco seasoning, which is 3 tablespoons each for each pound. So we're going to add about 6 tablespoons here. There we go. Make sure that's good mixed in. Smells amazing already. Right, now let's get out some cheese. We're going to need some shredded cheddar. We're going to want to add about a cup. Should be about a cup. And if you want to lay your beans down on a tortilla first and then sprinkle it with cheddar, you can do it that way too. I just find mixing it in makes it a whole lot easier to distribute. Alright, so you're just going to mix in about 1 cup of cheese. You can have a little more, a little less if you like extra cheesy burritos. First, test our oil, make sure it's all hot. We'll just dip it in my coffee here. No, it needs to be a bit hotter. It needs to splatter back at you. Alright, so we're going to add, this is completely optional. Some people like onions in their bean burritos and some people don't. My family lives on onions, which is a really good antioxidant. Just mix in really finely diced onions, just like you do with the seasoning and the cheese. Just make sure it's all the way mixed in. Right now we're ready. You can see that cornstarch and that taco seasoning is really helping to keep this thick, which is going to be extremely helpful when we start frying it. What you're going to do is get an ice cream scoop. If you don't have an ice cream scoop, you could just use a 1/4 of a cup measuring cup. We're just going to set it right directly in the center there. Just smoosh it into a snake-like bean structure there. Then roll it up really tightly. You want to just slightly press down when you roll, but not so hard that it's going to flop out. Nice and tight, and then stop right when you get onto that seam. So that seam is right there at the bottom. There we go. And we're just going to do 2 at a time here. You don't want this oil to be more than about 325, where these ends are open and the cheese and bean mixture likes to start popping and cracking if you get it too far or too hot. Yep, popping and cracking. Let's see if that's starting to look brown. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. Crackling and popping. And actually point these away from me so that they can crackle and pop sideways instead of crackling and popping at me. You want them just a little bit crispier than what you think they are, because after you pull them out, they soften up. All right, let's get a cookie sheet to put these on for when they're done. And we're going to set our oven to 200 degrees so that it's really, really low heat, just enough to keep them warm. Okay, I think that first one's done here. Oh, yes, perfect. Just carefully let that oil drain off of both ends as best you can. Yes, and you don't want to push too hard or you'll crack that crispy shell. And then just put it in there on the cookie sheet. Let this other side fry just a little bit longer. All right, let's get another one going. Just stick it in there like that, and then press and press. Press and press. Nice and slow. But you don't want it all the way to the ends, but almost to the ends. There we go. Looks like a giant poop log, but it's Christmas. Howdy ho, Mr. Hanky. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo burritos. Okay, we got this one in here. That's a lot harder to do than it looks. There we go. And let's see. Yes, this one is done. Oh, yes. And as soon as that oven gets preheated, we're going to turn that oven off because we don't want them to overcook. Yes, that's perfect. We're going to set it down so that it's flap side down. What do you call that damn thing? Flap side down. Check. I said it earlier, now I can't think of the word. There we go. Alright, our oven's at 200. So we're just going to turn that off. See how this one's looking here. Ooh, perfect. We're going to let that side cook just a second longer though. It gets that really good color from that dirty oil too. If you do this with clean oil, you're not going to get that crispy brown looking color on these. It makes them look so appealing. I call it dirty oil, but it's actually, I don't know exactly, you'd call it refined oil or reused oil, recycled oil. After you fry chicken and stuff in it, it takes on all the flavors of all the foods that you've cooked in it. But when you're doing it with oil that you're making at home, you're making it out of all the foods that you already love and that your family already loves. Careful when you do this. So if you have any onions sticking out, you go slow, and then the onions won't pierce through your tortilla. That one's not getting very hot because it's way over there. And this, for being a cast iron skillet, is the worst heat dispensing cast iron skillet on the planet. This is a super cheap quality one from Ozark Trail. It was like $25 brand new. And the whole bottom of it was completely porous, so everything kept sticking. I had my husband grind it down with this grinder until it was nice and smooth. Then I re-seasoned it. And now it's a pretty good pan, but it still doesn't heat evenly like my other cast iron does. Okay. Oh, seam side down. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. Seam side down. Look at those beauties. When you put them in the oven for a few minutes, it helps get all that excess oil off of there, so they're not all yucky and oily when you pick them up. I'm going to go about halfway down so that it doesn't try to pull up that edge when it slides out from under. Just make sure you keep control of that oil so you don't start splattering. If it starts splattering too much, then turn it down slightly. And I use peanut oil for frying. So vegetable oil nowadays is straight soybean oil. Yeah, I have a little bit of an intolerance to soybeans. And peanut oil does really good at high temperatures also. It doesn't start smoking and getting all fishy smelling. Okay. Seam side down. Yes. Man, this whole dinner only costs about, let's see, if we use a whole 2 packs of tortillas here, this whole dinner costs about $4. It's cheese, beans, onions, and taco seasoning, and 2 packs of tortillas. You just really can't beat $4. Be careful, because all those little tiny beans that get in there, they start popping out of here like little explosions. They'll fuck you up. Stand back. Stand back, stand back. Don't point the end of those things at you. That's where you're more likely to get the stuff shooting out from the open ends on these. Alright, now that we're done with this oil, we're just going to scoot this to the back so nobody accidentally gets burned with it. And we're going to let those babies rest for a few minutes while we make the salsa. Alright, so to prepare our salsa, what we're going to do is add in 1 small quartered onion and 1 28-ounce can of the world's worst tomatoes. This is my last can of these, thank God, from Winco. They're always green and they have stems and pieces and they taste like hell. But we're making these into salsa. No food goes to waste in this house. And now we're going to reach in here with some tongs. You're just going to reach in here and grab about 10 or 15 slices, depending on how spicy you like it. These ones here from Mazzetta, these are pretty darn spicy. So, they're spicier than regular jalapenos. Super good. Not like so hot they burn your mouth. They just have so much flavor. Then you're going to add just a dash of lemon. Just a dash. Like half a teaspoon at the max. And then you have some really good Mexican hot sauce, salsa picante. This is optional. I just love this hot sauce so much. We probably have used that much in about 3 weeks. That's how much my family loves this stuff. I'm going to drizzle that all around just to give it some good picante flavor. And then we're going to pulse it a few times just until it's the consistency you like. If you like it really smooth, you can blend it longer. I like it slightly chunky. Alright, let's pour this into a serving dish so everybody can have some salsa with their burritos. Right, look at how pretty those are. Ooh, nice and toasty warm. Get yourself a little serving bowl that's big enough to dip your burrito into it. I just found these ones at the Dollar Tree. 6 of them for $1. These are super cute for dipping sauce. You serve that up with some fresh dipping sauce. Some fresh salsa. Let's break this open so you can see all that melty cheese inside. Look at that. Smells really good too. Let's see if it's too hot to give to the girls. So good. Crunchy. Alright, see you guys next time.